Hey, 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 welcome to another episode of ImJustFine Podcast. I am your feeling less tired host, ChrisLynn, and today we're back in the kitchen. So every other week we start by making a drink, whether it's a cocktail or a mocktail, or I might just incorporate a beverage that I like and why I drink it. So today we are making a mocktail because I told you guys you ain't about to have me in these streets drinking a lot, especially when I'm trying to control inflammation in my body. I love to make cocktails, but because thou shalt not waste alcohol, I can't be making cocktails every single time and sitting here drinking them with you. So I'm going to do mocktails once a month, a cocktail once a month, and then every other episode is going to be me sitting on my blue couch talking to you about something exciting. So let's recap. Last week's episode, I let you guys know why I consider myself a catfish. It was a very difficult episode for me because it's my reality. When I meet a person, I have to fully disclose something that is kind of private. Nobody wants to talk about their lady parts. But because I may not be able to conceive or will potentially have difficulty conceiving, I have to be able to disclose that openly. And I think if you are dealing with a chronic illness that will affect and impact your relationship, you should be forthcoming with it. And if that person is for you, they'll be okay with it. They'll say, we're going to figure it out together, right? And so I have come to terms with being a catfish. Okay, so what's today's mocktail? Today's mocktail is going to be called the post-op. And the reason why it's called the post-op is because I received a question about how did I prepare for surgery. So today I'm talking about that. So we can't talk about that next week. Next week's episode is going to be post-operatively, what did I do? How did I manage having 5.5 hours of surgery and how did I recover from that? So this is going to be the post-op. It's very simple to make. And please don't make fun of the fact that I don't have consistent shot glasses. It's because, I had 6 of these. And when you have friends come over and you have a liquor cabinet that's suspended from the wall and you open the cabinet and it's next to the front door, those glasses shifted forward every single time the door closed. And then when I opened the cabinet, shot glasses, jumped off a ledge and they ended up shattering. So I think that's pretty much what happened. We had 6 of these, okay? And it really is bothering me. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up. Y'all probably don't even really care, but because it's not consistent, it's really irritating for me. So that's just an aside. Y'all know we just chilling, okay? This is a comfortable place. It's a safe space, and I'm just gonna be me. So we have our shaker. Inside of our shaker, we are going to put, and I'm going to move my garnishes, lay them right here. We're going to put the simple syrup. And that is going to be 1 ounce of simple syrup. And I'm going to put some mint leaves in that simple syrup. So this is going to be a fruity minty mocktail. And we're going to put the mint leaves in there. I love a good mint drink. I don't know. I have to find maybe some other mocktails that don't include mint. But for now, I love mint. So I'm going to include mint into my mocktails. So I am going to muddle the mint, make sure I get all that nice minty flavor out of the mint. And it's always good to use a little bit of simple syrup to do that because, I don't know, I guess maybe it's a good binding agent. Who knows? But we're going to go ahead and muddle. Get all of that mint flavor out. And then we're going to add the rest of our juices. So we have lemon juice, which is going to be 1/2 ounce. We have 1/2 ounce of lime juice. We have 1 ounce of pineapple juice. We have 1 ounce of orange juice. And then I also picked up some mango nectar, which is gonna be 1.5 ounces. So if you are somebody who likes to make bellinis, you know about the nectars, okay? You're gonna add ice, and then you're gonna shake it. So different from a mojito, we are gonna strain this into a fancy cup because that's what I have. We're gonna strain it into a fancy cup. We're gonna get all of that yellow mocktail out. And as you guys know, it is still gonna be yellow because it's Endometriosis Awareness Month. I still have my yellow on. We are gonna top with soda, club soda. I do not recommend using Sprite because we are trying to cut calories. We're gonna stir that together and we're garnishing, I know it's red, but it's so on brand for endometriosis because don't we love a good bloody spot? So we are garnishing with our beautiful looking adhesions, as I would put it, with Marciano cherries. So refreshing. See if there's any more in there because it is really a good drink. Very refreshing. Definitely a mocktail that you can make this spring as you're sitting outside, as you're with friends, and having a good time. So I could guzzle this down, so I gotta be careful. Hello, hello. So you know I had to clean stuff up really quick because you know how I do. Alrighty. So we are talking about pre-operative preparation. But before I get into that, I wanted to just really thank everybody who's been supporting my channel, also who's been supporting my reels, who've been inboxing me and just encouraging me to continue. I really appreciate you all. And if you're watching this video, like, subscribe, share it, share the content. Super important to get awareness out there for endometriosis. Again, all of my topics are not going to be focused on endometriosis. That is just one of the chronic diseases I have. And it's also because it's Endometriosis Awareness Month. So that's why this month I'm focusing all my episodes on endometriosis. All right, so let's get into it. Preparing for surgery. I got this question this week on how did I handle post-operative care, and then I also got questioned about, well, how did you prepare for surgery and what to expect? Now, when it comes to fibroids, there's a lot more preparation that can happen because they can actually see fibroids on MRIs and on scans. So that preparatory work and knowing, okay, you have this many fibroids that we're going to remove, it brings you more calmness. Before both surgeries that I had, I was extremely scared. And the reason why I was scared is because endometriosis, you don't know what the hell endo did to your body. There's no, again, I talked about this, there's no scans, there's no, oh, we know that we gotta excise here and here and here. There's no preparatory work that a surgeon can do. So that's why I say find you a specialist, because you don't want a specialist. If you don't have a specialist, they may go in there and be like, well, what is this? And then you have a problem. That's how people have botched surgeries and so forth and so forth. You want somebody who has experience, because when they get in, they're gonna go, oh, wasn't expecting that, but they already know how to take care of it because they're specialists. So that's why I went to Dr. Hawkins. I already told you guys about Dr. Hawkins. She's special. She's magnificent. If you have endometriosis or you have fibroids, I recommend you go to her because she has magical hands. When they go in, they have no idea what's happening. So that's what's really scary. So for me, I was super scared because I have a desire to still have children. So you have to sign consent forms. The consent forms are to say, whatever we find, if we feel that it is dangerous to leave in your body, we're gonna do what's called at first do no harm. And that's the oath that medical doctors take. At first do no harm, right? So they're gonna leave what needs to be left, but if it's dangerous, they're gonna have it removed. So you don't want a doctor that's just gonna be like, well, we're gonna give you a hysterectomy. That's not the doctor you want. You do want to go to a specialist because they, again, will tell you your options, walk you through what you need. So I was scared. So I signed the consent form. They could go in and say, oh no, this ovary has to go, and this ovary has to go, and this fallopian tube has to go, and that fallopian tube has to go. Well, we might want to just go ahead and take out this entire uterus. This is not going to be a good baby maker anyway. It's more dangerous for it to stay in here. Call the colorectal surgeon. We got to go ahead and excise some of her bowels. She's going to be pooping out of a colostomy bag for the rest of her life. There's so many things that can go wrong. Just the thought of having surgery, and I know people have cosmetic surgery, and I understand it. You want to cosmetically have something done. But surgery is dangerous. Like, I don't think people really think conceptually about how dangerous surgery is. They're putting you in a self-induced coma. Yes, they call it anesthesia, but it's a coma. They're putting you in a self-controlled coma that they know you're going to come out of, so that you don't feel what they're doing to your body, so that, well, you're not supposed to feel what they're doing to your body. If you are feeling what they're doing to your body, that's kind of very concerning. But they put you in a state that has to be perfectly dosed so that you will wake up, right? You have to have a good anesthesiologist, because if you don't, then that's also another problem. So all these things are going through my mind. What if I don't wake up? What if I wake up and they tell me they took out all of my organs? What if I wake up and I'm in heaven? Like, there's so many things, because yes, surgery is that dangerous where you don't read the small print. Nobody reads the small print. They give you the forms. The forms say XYZ may happen, XYZ may happen, XYZ may happen, and they have to go over all the risk of surgery. Every single risk of surgery is outlined on those consent forms. And one of those risks are that you could pass away. It is an outcome that could come out from surgery. It's a surgical outcome. So these are all the things that are going through my mind. I'm like, I'm scared. And as I got closer and closer and closer to my day for surgery, I started to express it more. So when I first said I was having surgery, it was like 6 months prior, and I was talking to my friends about it, and I didn't say anything about how I was feeling. I just kind of was like, oh, I'm having surgery, I'm having surgery. So my friends were like, ChrisLynn, this is kind of a big deal. You sure you're okay? Yeah, I'm fine. It wasn't until like a few weeks prior that I finally said, I'm scared. I am really scared. And I remember my best friend saying, this is the first time I've heard you say that. This is the first time I've heard you actually indicate that you were scared. You kind of just been brushing it under the rug and just kind of just, okay, cool. But you're actually expressing that you're scared. Oh, that's so good. Man, that's really good. That's really good. Oof. I definitely was scared. I told you all when I had my housewarming, it was kind of like I wanted all my friends and family to be there because it might have been my last hurrah. I know that's a bit extreme, but again, I started thinking on that level. Anything can happen when you have surgery. Whether this is a routine, I do this all the time, you just don't know what to expect with endometriosis, and you just don't know what to expect. When my first surgery, I did have to have a transfusion. It was 8 hours. It was very labor intensive. So I didn't know what to expect this second surgery. The second surgery, 5.5 hours, I wasn't expecting that, number one. Number two, I just was really scared about whether or not my reproductive organs were going to be removed from my body, because I knew that I at least had cysts in each ovary. And this is now the second time that my ovaries have been opened up to have cysts removed. So I don't know. I was like, I don't know what's going on with my baby maker. And that was really important to me to preserve. But at the end of the day, I would have had to sign it away. Like, if it is dangerous to leave in your body, we are going to take it out. So how did I prepare? How did I prepare? I prayed so much. I prayed so much, and I was like, Lord, if this is your will, then let it be your will. Let it be that this is what's supposed to happen. I feel like I'm in the right hands. I found the surgeon because of you. I feel that, and I know I have to have the surgery. I can't avoid it. I cannot avoid having the surgery as much as I want to. And I'm 100% glad that I did, because 17 fibroids, stage 4 endo, cyst in each ovary, appendix had to go. So that's a prime example. I had to sign away my organs. My appendix left, right? Like, I woke up with no appendix.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
I prayed a lot. And I remember recording this video the morning of my surgery. It's 3:30 in the morning. It's the morning of my surgery. I'm having surgery this morning for stage 4 endometriosis. I'm having at least 10 fibroids removed. I'm having 2 endometriomas removed, 1 in each of my ovaries. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared. I don't want to have surgery. As much as it's necessary, I don't want to have it. But hopefully this video helps somebody out there who's dealing with the same things that I'm dealing with. So I'm gonna vlog. It's not something that I enjoy doing. I know a lot of people on social media enjoy vlogging. There are people out there who do not. I am one of them. And I personally don't like to bring people into my life and the personal things that I go through. But sometimes you're led to do things that are beyond you and that are important. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to have surgery. Because the reality of learning my fertility status is scary. I'm a woman who wants to have children. I'm a woman who may not be able to have children because of my fertility issues. So hopefully this video helps others that are going through the same things that I'm going through. And for those who are not, hopefully it helps you to understand what endometriosis is, what fibroids are, what endometriomas are, the impacts on infertility, and hormonal changes, because look at that guy, right? Story of my life. So it's always good to vlog, right? Because, you go back and you try to say, well, let me express to you what exactly happened. But this was the morning of my surgery. I expressed, I'm so scared. I'm going into surgery. I don't know what to expect. And I just hope for a positive outcome. You have to remain positive. You absolutely have to remain positive. Like, even though it's a scary situation, and I absolutely support so many people who reach out to me and say, I have surgery next week. I've talked to several women who have reached out to me, DM'd me and said, hey, I'm having surgery next week. What can I do? If you have a job, I plan to have surgery a year in advance. So I knew I needed to have surgery last year because I started feeling the pain. I started having conversations about it a year prior. So I started saving my leave. So I saved up leave for a whole year. Didn't take any additional days. I only took the days that were use it or lose it. And I also worked with my company to see if they had short-term disability. So I had planned this far in ahead. So if you know that you're having surgery or you need to have surgery, I would definitely recommend, if you have a job that offers short-term disability, or if you have a job that has PTO that you could use, I would save that PTO and I would look into the short-term disability policy so that you can healthily recover and have money income coming in. Okay? So that was one of the things that I did. I checked with my company. I said, okay, well, I'm having surgery, because I'm like, oh, you going on vacation? No, I need to have surgery. My company does offer short-term disability, and I had my PTO. So that is how I planned for my post-operative care and setting myself up to not have to stress about my finances for the time that I am on leave. Now, I know that that is not available to everyone. I'm very understanding that I am in a blessed position. I'm in a blessed position where I do have access to short-term disability. I do have access to PTO where I could take time off and not have to worry about financial burden and responsibility. Also, I would check your insurance policy, okay? So your insurance policy, I definitely double checked to make sure where I was having surgery and who I was having surgery with, that my surgery would be covered. Now, again, I know that there are people who do not have access to insurance and things then become out of pocket costs, or you're just not able to have surgery. So this is only applicable if you have access to medical insurance. Again, I know I'm blessed. I'm not sitting here saying these things to be like, this is what you need to do. I know that I'm in a situation that is unique to me and not for everyone. But if you do have access to insurance, it is important to check where you're having surgery. Is your insurance company going to cover that location? If not, then you need to maybe consider finding another doctor or another specialist that's in the network for your provider. So I did have a conversation this week of someone who is having challenges with that. Their doctor is not covering or is not accepting their insurance. Now, there are several facilities that will do fibroid removal or endometriosis excision, but it's a separate doctor. The doctor has their own surgical suite and they do not accept insurance. So you have to consider that. If you're going to a specialist, do they accept insurance? Are they going to accept your insurance? If not, they will charge you out-of-pocket costs, and you have to pay those out-of-pocket costs before you have surgery. They're not going to have you come into their surgical suite until you've paid them. So just finding the right doctor that fits your plan is also challenging. Again, when I tell you God sent me to Dr. Hawkins, because she has her own separate office. So when I went to her, I was like, okay, well, let me see. They accept my insurance for her office, but I wasn't sure about where she was having surgery. So it so happens that I had my surgery at Northside Hospital, and my insurance did cover that location. So again, planning ahead. That's what all of this is about. Like for me, I didn't just say, oh, I'm having surgery, and I went and had surgery, okay? So I worked with Dr. Hawkins. My insurance company covered my doctor's visits with Dr. Hawkins and also covered my surgery, which is a blessing. And I'll talk about that in like what I paid and everything in the post-operative video. So I took care of my work situation. I took care of my insurance situation. And that's also considering deductibles, considering what you have to pay for out-of-pocket costs, making sure that money was there and available so that I could pay whatever I needed to pay on my insurance plan. I also let my family members know. So I'm very open that I'm single, I'm not married. So I don't have somebody who's here that I'd be like, hey babe, I'm having surgery, I need you. So I had to set up a support system. And once I started telling people I was having surgery, it didn't take very long to put together a support system. There were so many people, and I'm so gracious to everyone who volunteered. I had people who said, you know, if you need me, I'll stop in. Just let me know what you need. I got you. I'm definitely popping in to check on you. If you need me, I'm here. I had many friends who did do that. And I'm so grateful to have them in my network and to have friends and relationships of people who will take care of you when you're down. But I'm again blessed. I have a mother who is a retired nurse, and I have cousins. One is a nurse practitioner and one is a registered nurse. And they all volunteered to be my support team for the entire time that I was on leave. until I could actually manage and do things myself again. So I want to thank you, Mom, thank you. Tracy, thank you. Karen, thank you. And there's many more people I could thank, but those people were actually my in-house like nurses around the clock, making sure that I was cared for 24/7. So you got to have your support team in order. If I didn't have them, then my best friends were like, well, you're coming to my house and you're going to stay at my house for the 6 weeks and I'm going to take care of you for the 6 weeks. So I also had a backup plan. My best friends were like, we'll take turns. I mean, you don't have to move, but I'll come check on you. Whatever you need to do. What I would recommend is that you find a stable place for you to recover. A place that you're comfortable, a place that's secure for you, because you need the least amount of stress on your body. For me, it was my house. I wanted to stay in my home, and the only thing that is difficult about my home in recovery is that I live in a townhouse, so there's stairs among stairs among stairs, right? Also preparatory work. When I was moving into my house, when I tell you I planned this months in advance, when I moved into my house, I bought a bed that's adjustable. And the reason why I bought this bed was because I knew I was having surgery. And my very first surgery, it was so difficult for me to get out of bed. When you have to lift yourself and you can't use your core and it hurts from your whole abdomen down, it's very difficult to lift yourself. And you have to get up out of bed. You have to use the bathroom. You have to move and get circulation so you don't get blood clots. I mean, there's so many things that we're going to talk about for post-op. But I bought a bed that's adjustable. Yes, I'm a little bougie. But when I bought my bed, I had full mindset that whatever bed I buy, this needs to be the bed that's going to be good for me when it comes to me having surgery. Now, most people thought I bought my bed because they're like, oh, she is really bougie. No, I bought my bed with my surgery in mind. I wanted to be the most comfortable I could be in my bed. Now, timing worked out for me. I was moving before I had surgery. I closed on my house in March. My surgery was in July. So I was buying new furniture. Again, also my story. I will talk about post-operatively what you can do. I didn't always have an adjustable bed. Post-operatively what you can do when it comes to what you need to do to recover. But that was another thing that I prepared for. How am I going to get up and down the stairs, in and out of my bed? Those are things you have to think about. Now, my surgery was very invasive. I had endo on my liver, I had endo on my bladder, endo all over my reproductive system, and I had my appendix removed. So I had to keep in mind, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know how invasive the surgery was, but I know what it felt like the first time. And I had extreme difficulty getting out of bed, and my mother had to help me to the bathroom. So I already know I need to be prepared for that. I also prepared on how I was going to take care of the sutures and the scars, and I'll go over the suture tapes that I used in the next video, but also preparing to make sure that you have those things. Preparing to go to the hospital. So your overnight bag should have things that you need for the hospital. So I had slippers in my overnight bag. I had an extra blanket in my overnight bag to stay warm. Anything you want to read, any entertainment. I was, high on anesthesia most of the time, and I spent one night in the hospital. So your overnight bag. Consider the things that you want. What do you want a certain snack after? Because I really didn't have much of an appetite, but think about these things. What kind of snacks do you want? The shoes you want to wear, because I'm a person who's always cold. I am not anemic, but I am always cold. So that's what I considered. I considered how I'm going to stay warm because my feet get cold. And I do like the hospital socks, but you got to walk around the hospital. And do you want to walk around the hospital in socks? you can answer that question. Because they make you walk down the hallway. So I considered, what did I want to bring to the hospital? What did I wear to the hospital that I knew leaving the hospital I could also put on? So consider your clothing, because you definitely don't want to go in there with no tight jeans on. Anything that's going to be restrictive on your abdomen, you don't want to do it, because it's going to be painful when you got to put it back on. And you want something stretchy but not too elastic that's going to push down on you. Promise you, I wore muumuus. Muumuus were my lifesaver. You know your grandmother wore a muumuu and it was sexy, and that's how she got your grandfather, so don't play me. But I wore my muumuus. I was in a muumuu a lot before surgery, well, a lot after surgery. Before surgery, what I wore to the hospital was one of my 3-piece fluffy teddy bear outfits with the long sleeves and the long trench, and then the short top so that there was no pressure here. And then also the pants are high-waisted too, so it never fell in a wrong place. I could just adjust it. But it was very loose fitting and super comfortable, and you know, this is what I wore. How else did I prepare? I let my friends and family know. Like, I think that's really hard. When you have to have a procedure, one of the hardest things was talking to family members about the procedure. Because you have family members who are not for surgery. I have family members who are not for surgery. I have family members who didn't understand the disease until I started explaining it and started opening my mouth and saying, this is a problem, this is what I live with, this is what I'm going through. So it wasn't until these videos, now that my family understands the disease. So imagine trying to have those type of conversations with people who don't understand your medical condition. And one of them was my mother. My mother is not a person who is for surgery. You know, if you meet her, she's very holistic. She's 70, not on any medications, healthy as healthy can be. And she will tell you, like, no, your body can heal itself. But I think my case, it was too far gone. And I had gone to a holistic doctor again, but explaining to your family what's going on. That is a hard conversation to have, to explain why I'm doing this. And I made these videos to kind of help with that. Like, I don't think people understand what endometriosis is. I don't think people understand how dangerous endometriosis is, because that's what I told people. I'm like, yeah, I know I got fibroids. I know I got a lot of them. I've had a lot of them, but that's not why I'm having surgery. I'm having surgery because of endometriosis. And it wasn't until after my surgery that my mother understood, because then she saw what Dr. Hawkins did. Thank you, Jesus, for those pictures. Thank you, Dr. Hawkins, for taking pictures and recording what you did. Because now I was able to use those pictures to educate. Now my mom saw, like, oh my gosh, I can see why you were in so much pain. And it was difficult. It was difficult. Me and my mom used to go back and forth, and it was about my own body. So it got to the point where I told her I didn't want to talk to her at all. I don't want to talk to you at all about what's going on with me health-wise. And that's really hard, because this is my mom. But we're arguing, and I didn't need that stress before having surgery. Having those conversations that are difficult to have, but have them with your family members so that they are there to support you. And that, because your support system is so important. It's so important. I cannot stress how important it is to have a support system. And if you don't have a support system, let me be your support system. I'm here to support you. I'm here for you. That's why I'm doing these videos. That's why I'm showing up. It's for you. It's for the people who don't have the support that I did. And I remember I said that in my first video, I had to have a friend tell me that. You should cam up and you should talk to people, because there are people out there who you may be their support system. So if you need me to be your support system, I'm here for you. I understand. I understand your situation. Having those difficult conversations with your family members, because you're going to need them. And you need them to understand what you're going through, because so many women are told that they're faking, that they're lying, that doctors are kind of refuting them because they don't understand this disease. And it's awful. It's absolutely awful. So what else did I do to prepare? I went to the gym every single day. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to get my body so far in advance that when I was not working out or capable to work out for a long period of time, that I was not going to just veg out and just gain a bunch of weight. That didn't quite work. That didn't work at all, actually. But that is something that I did. Working out helps with circulation. So I knew that if I was strong enough, my strength, I would be able to pull myself up. I knew that I would be able to walk. I knew that I would be strong enough to do a lot of things if I was in a healthier state before surgery. Now, most people are not like me. It hurts. It hurts like hell to work out with endometriosis. I'm not sitting here saying that that was oh so easy. No, every single time I worked out, I could feel my fibroids. I can feel my cyst. So, and I'm a spinner. I love spin. So every single time I was spinning and my legs were coming up, I could feel my entire uterus and my system was stuck and I couldn't push on my stomach. Anytime I try to do like hip thrusts, I already talked about that, I could just feel the pressure and the pain of that bar. So I'm not sitting here telling you this was very easy. Oh yes, please go out and work out because it's oh so simple. No, it's not. But in my mind, it made more sense for me to be in a healthier state before surgery so that I had better outcomes. Also, I couldn't poop, right? I already talked about this. Exercising helped me to poop. So what else did I do before surgery? You get a plan. Simply, you get a plan from your doctor. So you have a preoperative plan. You have to get blood work done. So you have to go to a general physician and they have a full panel if your particular provider can't do it. So for me, I had to partner with the Northside Hospital physicians. Dr. Hawkins is able to do surgery at Northside, so it works out perfectly fine. So I went to Northside, I went to a general physician, I got my blood work done because you have to have certain blood work. You can't just get surgery, especially if you have clotting issues or, they see something abnormal in your chemistry panel or your hematology panel. If there's abnormalities, then they have to consider those before you have surgery. So I didn't have any preoperative lab results that came back that would suggest that I could not have surgery. So they also have to get your blood type, right? Just in case. Just in case you need a bag of blood, right? A transfusion. They do get your blood type and confirm it. Now, naturally, you should know your blood type. I think everybody should know their blood type. If you don't know your blood type, you should. Find out what your blood type is because when you go to the hospital, you should be able to tell them, this is my blood type. They should check it. But just in case you don't know, if you receive blood that you don't have, you could die. Like, it's just very simple. Like, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. If you are A positive and you receive some B positive blood, you're gonna have a problem. So me, I am O positive blood type. I can give blood to everybody who is of positive blood type, but I cannot receive nothing back besides O positive blood. And actually, let me just tell you a quick story. This all pertains to giving blood. I absolutely support everyone. I used to be a blood donor. And I say that I used to be a blood donor because I'm now on the blackball list. And hopefully this video reaches whoever made said list because I used to be a blood donor. And no, I'm not allowed to not give blood now because there's something wrong with my blood. No, I'm not HIV positive. No, I don't have any type of blood abnormality, sickle cell, anything like that as to why I can't give blood. I'm not anemic, all the above. I have healthy blood, okay? So when I was in college, I used to give blood all the time. You know, they give you a free t-shirt and pizza. College kid dream, a free t-shirt and pizza. That's lunch and clothing that you could wear at school, okay? You know, we're on the budget, and sometimes they gave you like a gift card. Like, let's be honest. College kid life. So I would go to the bloodmobile truck, and because I work in public health, I'm like, oh, go ahead, take this O positive blood. Y'all need it. I can give blood and multiple people can get it because I'm O positive. That's how I found out I was O positive in the first place. So I went and I gave blood, and you know, you go through, you're like, yes, you're checking off all the questionnaires, and you know, no, not HIV positive. No, they ask you about your sex partners, all that stuff. No, yes, da. So the first 2 times I gave blood, I marked, there's a question, and I don't know if this has changed because I've been blackballed, but there's a question that asked if you lived in Europe between 1980 and 1989 for more than a year. That's the question. And I was like, yeah, I did. Because I was born in Europe. I was born in Europe, and I didn't move to the States until a year later. So I was like, oh shit. I marked yes. So I was like, they're not gonna blackball me for this. But of course they did. Mad cow disease was rampant in that time, and they're like, your blood's no good. But my blood is perfectly fine. But I can't give blood because I am a mad cow disease problem, okay, apparently. But my blood is absolutely fine. And the blood that they collected, they already used and gave to somebody else, and they're perfectly fine. They did not destroy my blood. Somebody got my O positive mad cow disease blood. So hopefully they change that, and then I could give blood again because I'm O positive. But now, for right now, if I go in a bloodmobile or try to give blood anywhere, I am blackballed. So that's my little spiel about blood. But anyway, I'm O positive. They have to figure that out. They have to know your blood type before that you have surgery. Now let's talk about the bowel prep. Holy shit. Yes, that's exactly what you're going to be doing for hours. You are going to be cleaning out your bowels. This was the second time I had to do it. The first time I did it was for my colonoscopy, and they gave me the prescription one. You could get from I forgot what it's called, but you could get the prescription one, or you could do what I did, and I believe you get a Gatorade bottle, you fill it up with Docalax, I think it's Docalax that I did. Anyway, the laxative stuff. You put it inside the Powerade bottle, and you gotta drink it down in a certain amount of time. So like every 30 minutes, I had to drink 8 ounces. So, and my best friend had fun with that, because as I was doing my bowel prep, she was at my house, and she was like, oh, no, it's time for some more. Let me go fill up your cup. So I'm drinking this bowel prep. She's at my house. It was the day before my surgery. You are going to poop out your soul, okay? And it's necessary for you to poop out your soul. Just do it. Just get it over with. Get your gut clean, because that's why I scheduled my surgery super early in the morning. This is preparation, because think about this. You're gonna have to poop. You can't eat anything for 12 hours prior to surgery. Then you have to poop out all your soul. You're gonna be hungry, you're gonna be scared, and you're gonna be miserable. So, plan ahead. Be first on the docket in the morning. Fresh hands by your surgeon, and also the sooner you get to eat, because if you're like me, you get hangry. Do your bowel prep. Follow the prescription. So I had to take vitamin C, large doses of vitamin C before my surgery. I took my large doses of vitamin C. I had to drink my bowel prep. I drank my bowel prep as I was supposed to do it. I pooped out my soul. I went to sleep. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. My surgery was at 7. I had to be at the hospital by 5. Everything went fast after that. Pray. If you believe in a higher power, pray. I definitely recommend it. Calm your soul. Do what you got to do. Meditate. Do some yoga. Do what you got to do. But before you have surgery, before you go in there, you have to have a mind of positivity that this is going to be a good outcome. Because if you don't, then I don't be speaking those type of things over my life. But I mean, I'm a realist. I understand what the outcomes of surgery can be. But I also had a positive mindset that I was going to come out on the other side with what God wanted me to be on the other side. Okay? So that's it. That's how I prepared for surgery. I thought about who my surgeon was going to be. Finding your surgeon. Making sure your surgeon is in network with your financial responsibility, so your insurance. Work with your company to see if you have short-term disability so that you can be on short-term disability. FMLA, all of that. Make sure that you take care of that with your work. Think about how you're going to recover. Is the place that you're recovering, does it have stairs? Is your bed comfortable? Is the place that you're going to be sleeping comfortable? Who's going to be your support system? Who's going to be helping you because you need to sit down, right? Who's going to be helping you? Make sure you have that type of support system. And just make sure you have people who are checking in on you. It's nice to just have conversations that are not surrounded around your surgery. Okay? So have your support system. And most importantly, stay positive. Stay positive, stay positive. Think about what life is going to be like on the other side. Look forward to that. I'm feeling fantastic today. I'm so glad I had surgery. I'm almost a year past my surgical date. I'm not in any pain. I have 0 pain. So just think about those things. So that's it. That's all I have. I know that was a lot. I hope it was very informative to the people who asked, like, how do you prepare for surgery? So next week, we're going to talk about post-op. What did I do post-operatively? What would I have done differently? Yeah. So as always, please like my podcast. Please subscribe. I'm almost to 100 subscribers. I'm like itching to reach 100. So please subscribe to my channel. Share my content with your friends and loved ones. Anyone dealing with endometriosis or anybody who has to have surgery. This is just a great video in general. If you have to have surgery, these are some things you should consider. And make today your last day one. Something that I did this week that was very different was that I went on a solo date by myself, which was something that was making today my last day one. I always said that I was in a solo date and I was going to go out and do things by myself. If I didn't have somebody to go with, it was something I really, really wanted to do, that I was going to do it myself. So I started solo dating, and it started this week. I went and I saw the live taping of tonight's conversation podcast. I had an amazing time by myself, and it was a great show, and I definitely would recommend it. It helps with your mental health, and it helps with just, feeling more confident in yourself. Going out by yourself builds your confidence. You have to be able to be by yourself. I know. It's a little difficult. And I'm an extrovert, so it's easier for me to kind of go and do things and meet random people and talk to random people. But if you are an introvert, go find something introvertish to do, but still do it by yourself, something you love. I think that's very important, especially when you're dealing with chronic illness, to not let it tie you down so much that you're not doing the things that you love. And with that, I'm going to close. Have a beautiful week. I will see you next time. And thank you so much for joining. Bye.